Created by Osamu Tezuka, Blackjack's a highly skilled surgeon and doctor who first appeared in the 1973 manga series. While Blackjack has made a few appearances in other works of Osamu Tezuka, such as episode 27 of the 1980 Astro Boy and the 1978 Vanderbook TV special, it wasn't until 1993 that Blackjack would have his own animated series, being the episodic OVA that concluded in the year 2000 with 10 episodes. However, the OVA series would resurface again in 2011 with 2 additional episodes. This was the original series that started Blackjack's anime debut, later gaining more animated material in the future. As I said in my other Blackjack reviews, the series is always different in tone, and this particular OVA can be described as the seinen approach to the franchise. For example, in the 2004 anime Blackjack TV, his house is always shown lively and peaceful, in contrast to the OVA where his home is always featured during rainy nights with the lights off. The overall series is darker in tone, bearing some traits of horror and elements of the supernatural. While all Blackjack material typically deal with real illnesses and realistic surgery, the series does at times stray from the normal reality and venture into a more imaginative conflict such as fictional diseases. Despite Blackjack melding both non-fiction and fictional epidemics, the series does interpret the supernatural elements in a believable way. Some of these episodes serve as Blackjack's encounters with the unknown, as the OVA depicts him as a man of science. When he faces his mysterious ailments, it causes Blackjack to believe in miracles, or at least wishes to. Blackjack's character is presented as more mysterious than his other interpretations, but this OVA better introduces the character tropes for all related Blackjack material. For example, in the first episode, we have a better understanding of Blackjack's employment, such as taking requests via phone call and shamelessly asking for overcharged fees. As you see more episodes, the more you slowly begin to understand his modus operandi, along with some of his personal thoughts on world conflicts. In these stories, Blackjack often works in the criminal underworld, but also engages in war-stricken lands, showing that he works for anyone who is in need of medical service. Interestingly, Blackjack in the OVA is portrayed as a ladies' man, where nearly every episode is focused on a woman suffering, and most develop romantic feelings for him. Given the seriousness of the OVA series, a decision was made to nearly remove the manga's humor, which is depicted through Pinocchio. Pinocchio is a main character to the Blackjack series, who serves as his assistant, but given her comedic personality, it often clashes with the serious tone of the OVA, so her screen time is rather limited. In the original manga and the 2004 anime, she serves as Blackjack's more cheerful side, as the character can be a bit stoic at times. With his heavy involvement in illegal surgeries, Pinocchio acts as his anchor for a more peaceful lifestyle. Many fans of Blackjack have a mixed opinion about Pinocchio. We all know she has to be part of the series, but not many people like her. Some find her cute, while others find her annoying. Even the director, Osamu Tezuka, was unsure how to use her. So, she just kept her at home, or sometimes when she's on screen, Pinocchio's either spunky or really childish. To those who are familiar with the anime Mushishi, the Blackjack OVA carries a similar style story structure. Despite Mushishi often centering on the mysterious Mushi, I often compare these two series. Both anime do follow a formula of a mysterious man healing those in distress, often by an unknown phenomenon. Interestingly, there are some Tezuka stories that focus on nature, such as the OVA episode 8, where a kid is plagued by having plants grow inside of him. Another interesting visual display is Mushishi's River of Light, which resembles a stream of plants found in the Blackjack movie. While Blackjack is not atmospheric as Mushishi, it does contain similar themes revolving around the preservation of nature, but also display how people's lives change through forces beyond our control, hence life and death. War and pollution is another recurring theme in Blackjack stories, as it affects the lives of many people, allowing for very dramatic visuals but also engaging stories that are timeless. The Blackjack OVA specifically demonstrates what is harming the world seen through Blackjack's point of view, as he often witnesses firsthand the cruelty of men. Blackjack himself is a victim of war, but a flaw to the OVA is that you will not learn of his origin. Because of the lack of his upbringing, you may not completely understand the character's choices as an unlicensed doctor, or why he's a doctor in the first place. To learn more about Blackjack, you would either have to read the manga or watch the Blackjack TV anime. I can only guess the reasons as to why Blackjack's origin is left in the dark, and it's likely because of director Osamu Tezuka. Again, this is just speculation, but I believe Osamu Tezuka treated Blackjack the same way he portrayed Gogo 13 in The Professional. Regardless of their opposite career choices, both characters have a lot in common, such as charging ridiculous amounts of money and following their own code of conduct. Osamu Dezaki probably saw their similar features and played around with this interpretation of Blackjack's character. An example of this are the openings, as both Golgo 13 and Blackjack are viewed through brief images, even through photographs, giving a dark yet secretive atmosphere. The Blackjack OVA series possibly is the best introduction to the Blackjack franchise, and is one of the few Blackjack anime to have an English dub. Back during the late 90s, Blackjack OVA was licensed by Central Park Media, releasing the series in VHS format and later onto DVD. It goes without saying that this OVA is an out-of-print title. To make matters even worse, there is no official way to watch the series. Back in 2011, there used to be a YouTube channel dedicated to Tezuka related anime called Viki, which have closed their accounts in 2015. Among their titles was the Blackjack OVA, Blackjack TV, and Blackjack 21. The OVA deserves to be rescued, and its English dub should allow for more accessible means, especially through sites such as Netflix, Hulu, and Crunchyroll. With the recent anime of Young Blackjack, I think it's time for someone to start releasing the Blackjack anime in its entirety, as it's a really underrated series that deserves lots of praise. Not only is it good in story, but also excels in visuals through the director Osamu Dezaki. To those unfamiliar with Dezaki, his works in anime are typically good series that are worth watching, either for its characters, story, or even its art. Dezaki is usually known for his emphasis of the postcard memories or visual stills that are impressive and dynamic. While he doesn't draw them, Dezaki definitely knows when to use them and how it should be presented, giving the proper impact for the story. Since the OVA series began in 1993 and lasted till 2000, you will see gradual changes in animation. In fact, it starts off with a 4:3 aspect ratio, and the last few episodes gained the 16:9 screen size. Plus, its artwork only got better as the series heads towards a conclusion, especially with the Blackjack final OVAs. In short, if you want to have a good yet short first impression of Blackjack, then look no further than the Blackjack OVA series. The stories all stand alone, but each delivers plenty of emotional drama, creative imagery, and foreboding truths to keep your attention. I hope the entire series gains a re-release in the near future. I'm the Manly Anime Hero, and I review anime so you can enjoy it.